So there is an absolute flood of people suggesting plugins on the internet. And while a lot of it's great, there's also a lot of just noise that contributes to wasting time downloading the same plugins over and over again in different packaging. So in this video, I thought it'd be helpful to cover my top 5 free plugins that I actually use in my productions. So the first on this list is a bass instrument called Keybase. I was immediately impressed by the simplicity yet flexibility of this instrument. You can manually change the tone in several different ways while also having this really interesting visual feedback, but it does it in a way that is simplistic and I believe prevents decision fatigue to a degree. And if you don't feel like tweaking the settings that are on the front panel, you can actually go in. There are a ton of presets that I think are really cool for sparking creativity. I use this one a lot for like lo-fi tracks, but I also use it kind of underneath as like a sub bass, just like sustaining these long notes that really add this depth to some of my like R&B productions. I love this one so much that it's in my starter template that I use for every Logic project. You may have heard of this next one. It's called Cymatics Origin. Origin is a classic that adds a lot of character to my productions. I could either be using this on individual instruments or using it on mix buses, doing light saturation, or maybe a more warbly tape kind of sound, even as far as completely destroying my sounds in an artistic, musical way. All that, I use this for that a lot. So the UI on this is extremely easy to use. So easy, in fact, that I really don't ever touch the presets on here. But there are cool presets, but I find that it's so fun to just turn these knobs and just see what kind of sounds I can come up with. Once again, I use this a lot for lo-fi tracks because it's really good at just adding like warbly keys sort of sounds. I'll put that on like my drum bus and it just really brings it to life. This plugin has so many use cases, it's pretty much a no-brainer to download this thing. The next one is another one from Cymatics called Deja Vu. And it basically is a pitch shifter, time stretcher. It gives you a bunch of options for like the speed that you want to change, the duration, how much you want to mix the effect in, how much you want to smooth out the result of the time stretching. You can either bring samples in here and kind of use it to start flipping a sample. I like to use it to lay down like a part on a Rhodes maybe, and then throw this on there just to kind of see how I can bend it and create a new vibe with it. It's really cool, and this is definitely one of those things that's not, I would say, like essential for every single production, but it's so cool to have when I'm looking for inspiration or when I'm just kind of looking to switch it up a little bit. Next is Spitfire Audio Labs. Spitfire Labs is an incredible plugin that holds a bunch of different instruments. So basically on their website, there's this whole section of labs instruments for this plugin, and they're all free, which is incredible. There's anything from like woodwinds to like atmospheric sounds to percussive sounds, some really like rich sounding keys like acoustic piano, Rhodes, like there are so many things that are all free, which is really incredible. There are ways on the face of this plugin to manipulate the sounds, but honestly, I find that the beauty of this plugin comes in just each individual instrument. So when I'm looking to make like a really organic sound, or I'm just looking for, say, like a rich upright piano, like this is the first place that I go because I love it so much. Now, before we get into the last plugin, I just wanted to let you know that I'm giving away a couple of free sample packs. One is a sort of ambient guitar sample pack, and the other is a soulful upright piano sample pack. Both of them are completely free, and they're also royalty free, so you don't have to clear anything with me. I would love to see what you came up with. But yeah, if you're interested in downloading these, there's a link in the description. You can grab them there. So the last plugin I have on this list is actually Kontakt Player. They're currently on 7 now. I'll be the first to admit that I don't know the intricate details of what the full version of 7 does, but what I do know is that Kontakt Player provides me a lot of value for zero cost. I feel like Native Instruments is constantly releasing new libraries for Kontakt, and so this is kind of a no-brainer to have as well, so that whenever they release a new library, especially if it's limited time, you can just grab it real quick and you don't have to download a ton of things. You just go and add it to your collection. A couple of really inspiring libraries that I use is Glaze, which is kind of like a vocal-based keys instrument. There are tons of different sounds. They're broke up into different categories like plucks and leads and pads and bass, and like it's super cool. You can blend different sounds and kind of make it your own. I really enjoy that. And also, Jacob Collier Audience Choir was completely free, and this one blew my mind. They actually recorded real audiences around the world at Jacob Collier concerts to create this library. And it's basically just this very flexible choral instrument that does pretty much anything you want it to, including like oohs and ums and e's and stomps and claps, and it's super cool. And it's also just a really cool idea of getting a real audience to put this together. I'm not sponsored by any of these brands. I use these plugins frequently and don't plan to stop anytime soon. I think it's really cool to take a look at what's available for free that is truly inspiring and unique, and most importantly, useful in my productions. So thanks for hanging out. See you soon.